This is writer Kelly Thompson, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hey, it's Jesse Rass here, and you've made the great escape into comics by jumping inside the pull bag today.
You've just jumped inside the pull bag. Join TFG1Mike and the rest of the comic crew here at the GCRN as they make their great escape into comics. From DC, Marvel, and Image to IDW, Boom Studios, and Zenescope, we have everything right here. We cover things like Transformers, He-Man, superheroes, TMNT, and Radiant Black. Yeah, we have all that and so much more. It's all inside the pull bag here on the Geekcast Radio Network. So, without further ado, it's time to talk about the comics we're reading right now, here inside the pull bag.
You have just jumped inside the pull bag. I'm, of course, TFG1Mike, and today's featured guest is none other than Eduardo M. Freyre. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, I'm back. Did you all miss me, or did you turn this on thinking, oh God, please don't be him, and then you heard my voice and you're like, is Joey no longer in my life? Because
yes, he is he's the ultimate bat trooper, pretty much. And today's featured comic comes to us from SkyBound Entertainment. This time around, it is a double feature. As we enter the Energon Universe, we are going to be covering Cobra Commander Volume 1 and Destro Volume 1, a horror-themed comic and a boredom basement comic. Oh, God. All right, let's get this crap out of the way here, because I've read these before. I've been in the Energon Universe over on Another Comic Review. It's a podcast that my buddy Jesse, aka Matrix Prime, started almost 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years as of June 16th, 2026. I don't know why he picked that date specifically to publish. Maybe because it was the Wednesday at the time, because comics come out on Wednesdays, and between the pull bag and Another Comic Review, we just publish on Wednesdays because of that. I've always released the pull bag on Wednesdays because that's when New Comic Book Day was and is and whatever. But apparently June 16th is his anniversary date, and that's coming up later this year, obviously. And we had covered the Energon Universe when it started. He was excited. We were both excited about it. He asked me, and he asked our other buddy Ryan, the Uneven Flow. So the three of us cover all the books. Ryan really only comes on for the Transformers reviews, but Jesse and I cover Transformers, Void Rivals, and G.I. Joe, whatever G.I. Joe books come out. And at the time, they were releasing the miniseries Duke, Cobra Commander, and Destro. So we covered those individually, the 5-issue miniseries of each character. So I've read all of these. Huh?
Scarlet. You guys didn't.
Okay, Scarlet too. Yes. I'm sorry, I forgot about. Honestly, Scarlet was my favorite out of all of them. I can't believe I forgot Scarlet. Scarlet was the best out of all of them. So there's that. Yes, Scarlet as well. I don't know how that slipped my mind. But yes, we covered all of it. We've covered anything. I think the only thing we haven't covered at this point is the Cold Slither comic that they put out.
Oh, I ended up loving that.
Okay, then you'll cover that with me on here then, because we had not covered that yet. So that'll be something you and I can cover on here. But yeah, and I don't know. I wanted to go back and see if what I don't, and this is, and I understand, Jesse had only ever kind of dabbled in comics. He was more of a cartoon kid, kind of like how I was. And he's like at, 3 years ago, 2023. He didn't I'm sitting here trying to school him on all the comic stuff that I've known for the past 13 years. Well, technically 10 years at that point, but it's one of those things where I'm trying to tell him everything I've known doing the pull bag all those years. And it's just like, I hadn't gone back to doing single issues. Pull bag, I only do trades. I wait for the trades. I stopped doing single issues like year 2, year 3 of the pull bag. And I would just wait for the trade paperbacks for whatever it is, whatever trade paperbacks I could get. And, year 2, year 3. So we were talking 2014, 2015, 2016, year 4. Those years, you got plenty of trade paperbacks for any comic you want to talk about in the last X number of years of comics. Because by 2015, you have over 80 years of comics, 90 years of comics, whatever, however long it is, whatever the, So I had plenty of material.
Time.
Huh?
I said a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So I had plenty of material to pick and choose from. I didn't exactly, for the new stuff. And I've never shied away from, the new stuff I can wait. I've never had the, oh my God, I need to be there first. I've never had that. The new Batman #1, whatever that is. The new Batman #1. I need to be the first one to have the first review out on YouTube. I don't need to be. I don't need to be that. I've never needed to be that. I've never needed to have that. Oh my God, I need to hit publish first before anybody else and get there first before anybody else. I've never had that much of a thing. I just want to sit back, relax, talk about comics with my friends, whatever it is, kind of thing. So when we started,
what? Wait, hold on. You want to actually enjoy the hobby? What kind of psycho are you?
I know, right? So when we started the podcast, going back to monthly books and going back to having to wait issue by issue, it was like, oh my God, how do people do this? Like, not just podcasting about it, but how do people fucking wait for these fucking books? And especially when they're bad, because we'll get to this later, but waiting for the torture that was Destro, oh my God, and I'm giving my hand away here, but waiting for the Cobra Commander was fine. Cobra Commander then was okay. The only reason why I didn't like Cobra Commander back then when it was coming out in single issues was because and Joshua Williamson specifically said he wrote it as a horror type comic. It is supposed to be like a horror movie kind of thing. I'm not a horror person. That's the only thing I did not like about it in the beginning at the time when it was coming out. But waiting for Destro was just like, oh God, can we get this over with? Because I knew of Joshua Williamson writing Cobra Commander. I had read maybe 1 or 2 things he had written before. I hadn't covered him ever on the pull bag. But Dan Waters, I had never heard of him, never read anything he had written. So Destro was the first thing, and we're going to get into this, but just some of the writing in that book, when I was reading it in single issues back then, 2 years ago, because the G.I. Joe books came out later than the Transformers book did, and Void Rivals, because they came out in 2024 for G.I. Joe. But even though the Energon Universe started in 2023. Anyway, but it was just like, oh my God, like what, how did you get this job? Do you not know how to use, it was like syntax error, like, do you not know how to write a certain character of I don't know, whatever. So that was my history with starting for G.I. Joe, and I just had not wanted to go back. And then something came up to the point of I needed something, or I wanted to do something. I don't even know why this came up. And I was like, oh, hey, the trades for the characters. I wanted to read these in trade to see, number one, see how the trade was collected, to see how the single issues were collected in the trade, to see if they were, you know how DC will, they'll section it off by trade. They'll split it up and do like individual covers. We'll split it up. Sometimes IDW will do that with the Turtles books, where it's like, this is still all one story, but this issue ends here. Here's an awesome alternate cover. The next issue starts here. Here's the cover for this issue, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, that's my history. So what is your opinion of the Energon universe, sir?
So yeah, on the Energon universe, I find it interesting. You know, there's I got to admit, having stuff like Baroness as a member of GI Joe, you know, I'm just like, wow, that's okay. We're going there. The art for Transformers, just, I don't know, like some of the early art, I just, after reading it, I felt like, do I have to go wash my hands? I don't know, there was something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Daniel Warren Johnson's art for you. And again, like I mentioned with Dan Waters, Daniel Warren Johnson, that was the first time I'd read him too. I got used to Daniel Warren Johnson, but yeah, that art was crazy.
Yeah, I do see that Mask is going to be joining the Energon universe, so I'm actually looking forward to that. I want to see what they do.
Yep. All right, we are going to get into Cobra Commander Volume 1. Oh boy. Caution, the contents of this booklet are confidential. This is an unauthorized disclosure of information within its... I can't even read anymore. This unauthorized disclosure of information within is prohibited. I do love how they've done this with the collection. I think that's super cool. Creative on this, all the people that worked on this: Joshua Williamson, writer; Andrea Milana, artist; Annalisa Leone, colorist; Russ Wooten. We love Russ Wooten over at Another Comic Review. We always like Russ Wooten. Yay! Cover artist was Andrea Milana and Annalisa Leone. Sean Mankiewicz is the editor. Andreas Suarez is the logo and publication design. Very cool, very cool. But yeah, and Volume 01 begin. Now, I am loving this. I will give SkyBound all the credit in the world. Every publisher does their trade paperbacks, their collected editions differently. I love how they did this on all of these so far. If it's going to be like this in all of them, because I don't know how the Duke one, because we're only doing Cobra Commander and Destro today. I haven't looked at the Duke trade paperback or the Scarlet trade paperback yet, but I love how they did this with Volume 01 begin, and then when we get to the ending, it's Volume 01 end. I love that. So we start out in the snow-capped mountains of somewhere, and it's a bar, restaurant kind of place, and look who comes in, Snakeface. And I see him here, and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to hear, even though I know I will never hear the voice, even though I only hear it in my head. I'm just waiting to hear Chris Latta's voice come out of that face. That's all. I have a need of a vehicle. Speak now. If you can be of assistance. Like, I know I'm doing a really piss poor Latta, but
it actually,
like the whole
sounds, you know what? Actually, your Latta sounds a lot like what's his face from Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, dude. Oh God, Doof. No, I am not. I wish for it to function properly. Yes. No. But Is that okay? So he goes into this place. He wants a vehicle, and he ends up walking out, and he sees this dude's snowplow, snowcat, snow whatever. I'm like, okay, I know that's not what I think it is, but that almost looks like a HISS tank. It's not a HISS tank, but it kind of looks like one.
Oh,
thoughts?
I mean, hey, Cobra Commander's got to get the inspiration from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not a HISS tank, but I mean, he could look at it and be like, "This design actually will serve me very well." There you go. There's my Lotta Commander impression.
Yours is much better than mine.
Yeah, well, I probably won't do it as much because if I keep doing it, my vocal cords are going to hate me. So
yeah, it's a throat ripper, as they say in the voice acting industry, and we are not voice actors, folks. We're just pretending. But as we get through this, we see all of the experimentation and just like not even experimentation. So he takes the truck from the guy. And the bartender's like, "Oh, you didn't pay your bill. I can't believe he'd just take this and run." They go outside. They see the blood. And I can't believe, like, did they really? I know this is just an artist thing, but I cannot believe that Cobra Commander would stay long enough to put the Cobra symbol in the dude's blood. I just... That is the one so far disbelief I have.
I think it's also kind of as a story choice. It was, well, we need people to know that this is, it's like this is Cobra. Can't be subtle here. We can't be subtle here. We need people to know this is the future Cobra Commander. Is this the future Cobra Commander? Whoever this is related to Cobra. So they needed the audience to know.
Yeah. And then we go to yes, absolutely. And then we go to before whatever. I assume it's before the events we just saw. So we see whatever the hell this is. And then we get an explosion and Cobra La.
Yep.
Yes. You gonna say something?
Bringing back Cobra Law. I said, actually bringing back Cobra Law. That's gutsy.
That's what I like about the Energon universe is they are bringing in practically everything they possibly can. Between G.I. Joe, Transformers, between the two brands, Mask, like you said earlier, they're bringing back Mask, which I absolutely love that they're doing that. But yeah, so they're bringing, we got Cobra Law here. We got this invasion of them, because it is Cobra Commander that is coming in here. And I absolutely love all of the art. The art is amazing in this. It's just so cool. So we kind of get his origin story here a little bit. Like he's laying in this bed. So this is before. So the events that happen in the bar where he gets the vehicle, where he gets the non-HISS tank or the pre-HISS tank, the snowcat version of the HISS tank. So this is Cobra Law. This is the explosion. This is him being injured. And then the helmet is by his side here. And we get, I only know this is Pythona because I've seen her already in the future. And she says to him, "You have been summoned." And he puts on the helmet and he goes to Cobra Law. And Cobra Law says to him, he goes, "And this is how you repay me? Our people worship only the organic and the gifts of flesh and natural order of life. Numerous science officers died while trying to harvest from the specimen, and yet you manage to not only interrogate it, but also find uses for its blasphemous technology. Oh boy. I do love that image though of Cobra Commander or the future Cobra Commander facing Cobra Law. That is a cool image. It's not cool enough where I would want to have that on my wall, but it's a cool image. Yeah.
Well, and hey, I think you're talking about, you say Cobra, I guess you're talking about Globulus, the
I'm sorry. Globulus.
Globulus,
whatever.
As the late great Burgess Meredith would say, know that I am Globulus, supreme ruler of this kingdom of Cobra Law. Because I created you. You are mine.
Yes,
no,
Globulus.
I haven't seen G.I. Joe the movie too much. Why do you ask?
Yes, Globulus. I'm sorry. I forgot what his name was off the top of my head, but now that you say that, and now that you say that it was Burgess Meredith, looking at this giant image of what I just read of what he says to the future commander, all as I hear coming out of that hooded figure, wah, 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 wah. That's all I hear is the penguin laugh.
What, you don't hear Globulus? You don't hear Globulus telling Cobra Commander he's going to like eat lightning and crap thunder?
No, because it's been almost 40 years since I've seen G.I. Joe the movie. I don't remember it at all. I haven't watched that movie, and you got to remember, so here's the thing, folks. I'm telling this more to the audience than you, but I'm also telling you this. The purpose of me starting when we started another comic review and we came full frontal on the honesty train, Jesse and I are both on the edges of the G.I. Joe universe. I've always said I had two choices as a child: the Transformers path or the G.I. Joe path. And yes, technically you can choose both paths, but I chose Transformers, and G.I. Joe was always a thing of, it's there, I'll get to it when I get to it, whatever. I've just never gotten to it. So that was kind of the point for me, was the comics now with SkyBound was my entry into relearning and re-knowing and everything else, and remembering stuff or not remembering stuff, and hey, I know that character, hey, I want to learn about that character or whatever. So yeah, no, it's I have all the DVDs, I have the Foot Locker set and whatever else. I just need to get it out and watch it.
Oh,
that's
man.
all. Yeah.
Lucky.
Well,
lucky. I'd love the Foot Locker set. I do have everything on DVD though. I do have the movie, and I do have the entire series spread out through the DVDs, but never got the Foot Locker. Which
it's a nice piece.
And I would love the Foot Locker just for that added thing where you have all the voice actors getting together for a round table.
Oh yeah, that round table was amazing.
Yeah. By the way, the Eat Lightning and Crap Thunder, that wasn't G.I. Joe the movie, that was Rocky.
Oh.
Remember,
I think
Burgess Meredith was Mickey.
It was Mickey. Yeah. No. Yep. I remember that now. Oh God, it's been years since I've seen Rocky. We covered it on him. We covered all five. I think there was still 5 movies at the time. I don't think Creed had come out yet. We covered it on M-Wire. I forget which number. It was 130 something or 120 something. We covered. Yeah, what?
You actually covered Rocky 5? Oh my God, you poor soul. You poor soul. I am so sorry. You just skip 5 and go straight to Rocky Balboa.
No. So you're taking me on a train here. We did one episode where we covered we covered the franchise basically, and we talked about each one on the thing, but I don't remember which We've never done it. I've never done them individually. Episode 132, the Rocky franchise. We did that in 2017. Sunday matinee, we check out the entire Rocky film franchise. Yo, Adrian! So I don't know if that meant we covered, I'm assuming we covered them all. And I'm pretty sure we discussed Rocky 5 because wasn't that the Drago one?
Oh, the Drago one was 4. Rocky 5 is like Rocky with like brain damage and not having to box, and I think like the penultimate. The finale fight was him in a street fight, basically.
I remember that. Anyway, back to Cobra here. All right, and I should be respected for that, Lord Globulus. Promoted in the ranks beyond just the bioscience labs into the position of leadership. And yet you have kept me under your heel there. Why? So he's going against Globulus and leadership. We get a big old fight. The fight looks cool, and he breaks out these weird ass bugs, and I just checked out. I don't do bugs, folks. I don't do the only bug I can really handle is Charlotte, and she's in her web waiting for Wilbur. He breaks out these giant bugs, and not giant bugs, but he breaks out these bugs and cuts people's heads off with them, and yikes. And what do you think of this scene here? His Cobra's revolt here.
Yeah, it's weird. I like rereading this for this recording and looking at other stuff. I'm like, is Cobra? Wait, like, are they trying to is the Energon universe trying to have its cake and eat it too? Have Cobra Law, but I don't know if I'm misreading it or not, but it feels like the implication is Cobra Commander is human, that he somehow came into Cobra Law.
Yeah.
And this may explain why he's not as technology averse.
Yeah. Because if you look at those bandages, he look like before he puts the helmet on when he's laying in that bed, he looks very human-like. I don't, heaven forbid I even mention this because I know everyone hates it. It's Rex.
Maybe.
It's Rise of Cobra. This is why I say that the Energon universe is incorporating everything. I don't say it is Rex. I'm just saying I think you're right. I think he is human versus whatever other thing that he could be, like an actual snake or whatever. Yeah. But I think I like thinking he is human, that he is using the technology. That's why he's that. Again, that scene where Globulus is like, we prefer nature, we do this, we do that, yet you bring us this technology. Why? So that I think Cobra Commander is human. And that's why he wants his leadership. He wants to be the head of the snake for a lesser. Oh boy. But I think that's what it is. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And it's also having Cobra Commander doing this big breakout. It's like it's the kind of thing. One of the unfortunately, Cobra Commander does. If you look at some of G.I. Joe and stuff like that, the cartoons, he does take a beating when it comes to being a threat. So to have this scene here, it's like, okay, this Cobra Commander is not a goofball.
Yeah, no, he is human.
He's serious. Yeah,
he is human, because if you look at the previous page, when he's right when he grabs the helmet, it's a human hand, it's a human face. It's if you look at his damage, if you look at his bandages, it's a human under there. So Yeah, he is. He is human.
Yeah, this is probably one of these. Yeah, again, it's kind of probably like a very Lost Horizons. Stumble onto them. Like I'm pretty sure. The fact that they call this Volume 1 has me going. Like sometimes they say Volume 1 or Issue 1 when it's a one-off. We're not going beyond this. So I get a little hesitant. But if they do a Volume 2, I would love to see the origin of Commander, like the real, origin.
Yeah.
How did he get to Cobra Law? How did they kind of say, we'll let you play with us?
Yeah.
I play in our sandbox.
Yeah, they have not gone back to one shots with the characters. They started out with, this is how they started the universe with this stuff. And I think the only reason why it says Volume 1 is to just give it a title. Because it does say Volume 1 begin and then Volume 1 end. I think it's just to bookend it. I wish they would go back to doing certain things, not everything. I don't know. It is what it is. We'll see what happens in the future, but this isn't, it's not bad. It's a nice self-contained story here. So we get the breakout, and the final line of the breakout, my fate and the fate of Cobra Law is in your hands now, my lord. We get Cobra Commander going to his secret bunker, and we get the giant reveal, where he says, "Too bad, you have served me well, machine. I was honest with Globulus. My loyalty to him and Cobra Law is steadfast. After each of our sessions, I did my duty and reported my findings, except..." And then we see what is supposedly the shell, even though you kind of see his nose, so I'm assuming his face is intact. But we see Megatron. And then we see the kind of, not history, but kind of backstory of Cybertron. We see Cobra Commander talking about all this stuff. As he's talking about Energon, how he's unlocking its secrets. And at the end of the page, the last thing he says is, "Globulus will have his army that I will lead, and no force in Cobra Law or any world will be able to stop us. Dun, dun, dun." And as he's left the door and shut it, and Megatron doesn't have his arms, but he's got his face, and he doesn't have a right eye either. But he's awake and he's grinning like a loon. Holy crap! I think that was the end of one of the issues. I could be wrong, but we go to now, where Cobra Commander is looking for more Energon, and we run into Buzzer and Ripper, and these are the Dreadnoks. Oh God. This was just crazy. This next section is just nuts. You got Cobra Commander, you got them, and then you got Pythona coming in here doing stuff. And this to me is just one giant fight. The whole thing between all of them to get the Energon. What do you think?
Having the Dreadnoks, having the Dreadnoughts show. Well, Cobra Commander and the Dreadnoks aren't.
Oh yeah.
They're not simpatico to start with, and it's like
not.
This is an interesting thing, an interesting route that the Energon Universe takes, having the Dreadnoks as antagonists. Like I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know if there's like a thing I want to kind of bring up, but I don't know if we want to jump ahead because it ends up being a little bit of a spoiler.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
Good. Okay, all right, because I know that because like Cobra Commander has kind of a shadow. Like he doesn't. It's not like there's a character that's not really so much a sidekick as he's kind of shadowing Cobra Commander. And I just remember, you have this big guy, and I'm just sitting around. I'm like, okay, is this Big Boa? Is this some like? I'm trying to go through my head, and then finally they do the big reveal that it's Nemesis Enforcer, and I'm just like, I did not see that coming.
Did not see that coming at all. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, especially because for those of us who have watched G.I. Joe the movie religiously, you know that Nemesis Enforcer doesn't speak. Like I think I can't like. I'm trying to think of all the places he's shown up, like G.I. Joe the movie, the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover that Devil's Due did, that comic that came with the Falcon Nemesis Enforcer 2-pack. I think in all of those, the only thing we get out of the Nemesis Enforcer is, like his Peter Cullen, driven growls and grunts and rumbles. So the fact that he was articulate, that he was speaking, and then we get the reveal, it's like I would have never guessed in a million years. Wait a minute, he can talk.
Yeah,
he can talk. He can talk. He can sing. What?
Yeah.
So I got that little bit of cleverness. It's like kudos.
Yeah, it's so cool, so very cool. So he goes in to find the Energon, and there's one image we get as we scroll through here. We get him versus the Dreadnoks, and the panel that I'm on is where I think it's either Buzzer or Ripper. I think it's Buzzer. Maybe, but first you gotta pay the tolls, starting with that shiny mask. I have something better in mind. And I remember when this issue came out, and I got to zoom in on this page. Bang, 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 bang. Oh my God. The top of that page, that panel.
Yeah.
That is the best Cobra Commander panel I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
That is so fucking cool. I love that art.
I think the other thing is just the viciousness of the Dreadnoks.
Oh yeah.
It's like, These are not the goofy, the goofy grape soda and chocolate donut guys of old. I mean, the fact that you have just Cobra Commander, all chained up and the mask like cracked and stuff. It's like these guys are barbarians.
Yeah, they're very
crazy,
very horribly nuts. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like seeing this. It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
holy moly,
it's like, and this is why I love what SkyBound has done for almost 3 years, or just over 3 years now, and just it's comics for us. Like, I know they've got a section of Sky, because it's SkyBound Comics under Image Comics, and it's an imprint of Image, and they've got a little bit of a side business with SkyBound, where SkyBound does have stuff for kids, but the Energon Universe is for us. I would never show a child any of these comics. Either Transformers, Void Rivals, or G.I. Joe. I would never give this to a kid. Never in a million friggin' years would I show this to a child. This is for us. This is for us who grew up with this stuff, who grew up loving Transformers and G.I. Joe. And Void Rivals, I'll say this now, folks, we are going, I don't know who it's going to be. I do. It's most likely going to be me and Steve Megatron that covers Void Rivals, because I want to hear his opinions on that one. But it's one of those things where I fully said when Void Rivals came out, I said to Matrix Prime, aka Jesse, who's running, it's his podcast, Another Comic Review. I said to him, issue 1, issue 2, first 5 issues, I said, this is the best new comic I've read in 13 years. This is going to be the best new comic. Void Rivals is going to be the best new comic of the next decade for me. Like, I love that comic. And it's because of the original characters. It's because of the story that it was telling, that it is telling still currently. Yeah, there were a little bit of Transformers on the edges of it with Hot Rod and whatever, but it wasn't because of the Transformers that was in it. It was because of the characters and the story between Derek and Salila and all that and everything else. Yeah, no. I love the Energon universe. It's amazing. So the Dreadnoks show up and screw everything up, and Cobra Commander tries to deal with them. And there is a scene here in part of this where one of the Dreadnought leaders says, "Whoever they were, they ain't ever coming out of that swamp. And besides, we're late for a family meeting." And right next to it is a keep out sign. So the next page here is him looking for my quest is over the power of transformation resides in these waters. Oh, good Lord. You gotta be kidding me. And he's going to go into the water. Okay, then. This is something that I did not expect, and I've never been a super fan of underwater scenes in almost anything. Like, underwater scenes slow shit down in movies. Like, I get it. They use it as I understand why they use it to slow down the pace of film or whatever. Only because it's funny. I was trying to and I know I should have used G.I. Joe music while I was listening to this, but I didn't. I used the Tomorrow Never Dies soundtrack. And the one track that I got to as it was repeating as I was finishing this up and during seeing these scenes, the sinking of the Devonshire. I'm like, oh God, gotta be kidding me. Because that scene is so slow, which slowed this down even more. But yeah, you all right over there?
No, I'm fine. And oh, geez, hey, it could be worse. There was one time I was listening to music while walking home. Like I had finished work. I'm walking home. It's like late at night. It's dark, and you have I think the song is called "For What It's Worth." It's that song that does the "Stop, Baby, What's that sound?"
Yep.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Imagine the opening tunes to that while walking home in at like 10 o'clock at night. It's like, oh, good Lord. I was just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah,
Nothing
you know what's
happened,
funny?
though, but it was just
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the funny thing is, though?
What?
I listen to that song now more than I ever have because Hootie has a cover of it.
Oh, what?
I'll send it to you after. I'll send it to you after.
Oh,
it's so good. It's so good.
It better be good.
It's so fucking good. Hootie and the Blowfish, Darius Rucker. It's so good, so good.
Holy
all right,
cow.
Cobra Commander in the water. He thinks he's gonna find the Energon or find where. Goes down there. We get back to the Dreadnoks at this pool bar or pool hall or whatever. They come in, they shoot a guy. I believe the floor is yours, Zarana. Okay.
Yep.
Now that I have everyone's attention, we have important family business to discuss. The juice we've all been seeing the glowing goo can do. It's some kind of fuel unlike anything we've ever seen, and it's powerful, and we've got it. And we can sell it to the highest bidders for a pretty penny. Okay, so regardless of whatever the hell they're saying about the Energon, look at that! It's the cube! It's not the Allspark, thank fucking God, because that sucks.
Oh,
but it's
Lord,
the Energon!
no.
It's the Energon cube! It's classic. And then everyone ready for the catch of the day? Cobra Commander comes in all chained up again. He's the catch of the day in the chair there. and they try to torture him, try to get it out of him, and try to break his mask. That doesn't work. They try everything. Oh God, there's even a panel here where talk Chrome Dome. Jeez, they do everything to him. I mean, not that I have sympathy for Cobra Commander, but I mean, like, damn.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. It's like, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's like these guys these aren't buffoons. These are vicious MFs. I mean, it's very, it's the dreadnoughts that you thought, you'd see in the 80s. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
These guys are vicious.
No.
These guys pull no punches. They want to get information out of you. They'll start taking fingers out.
Yep. And yeah, as we get along through here, we get more of the fight. We get Cobra Commander still chained up in the chair. He's still chained up. They get him out of the chair. They get him outside, and we see the semi-reveal of Nemesis, whatever is nuts, and
Nemesis.
Then
Nemesis
we see the
Enforcer.
Yeah, Nemesis Enforcer. We see the full reveal of his battiness. And I'm just like, oh boy, Batmite had some vitamins, didn't he? And then we see that happen, and they're just going at it and all that. That's just a crazy thing. The Nemesis Enforcer stuff is nuts. The art's amazing, but the whole thing is nuts.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on this whole? But between the time he gets revealed and the time we get to meet the scientist that's been in the lab there,
I just man, it's like, yeah. Again, the reveal of Nemesis Enforcer just blew my mind because I did not see that coming. The entire time when he's kind of in disguise, we'll say, I'm just trying to figure out who. Like, I'm trying to figure out who is it? Who is that? Because like my brain is going through the Joe catalog of like Joe villains and stuff, and I'm like at first I was like, is that Big Boa?
Yeah.
Are they going to use? Are they using Big Boa? And are they going to like maybe tie him into Cobra Law? And then it was like when it was the Nemesis Enforcer, I'm just like, that was not on my bingo card.
Yep.
At all. Holy crap.
Yep. Absolutely.
Kudos for not only for pulling it off, but like, also the fact that it's like, I have no, I know that, you could have some fandoms like, Nemesis Enforcer isn't supposed to talk. He's just supposed to grunt and groan. And it's like, no, I'm perfectly fine with him being able to speak fluently. It's like that. No, it worked. It totally worked.
And as someone who never knew about the character, again, me coming to this for the first time 3 years ago when this came out, like, I never knew about the character, so I never had any preconceived notions. I never had that, oh my God, why the fuck is he talking? He's not supposed to. I never had that, oh my God, the fandom entitlement bullshit. So I never had that, and it's like, oh, cool.
Well, fortunately, I don't think I've run into anybody who was like, Nemesis Enforcer has been ruined. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, well,
although this is the internet. This is the internet, so somebody out there doesn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying, like, there are people out there that will do that with characters, and it's like, I mean, for me, as long as the main core part of the character isn't like, if you do a comic where Ravage doesn't talk, I mean, Ravage talked a little bit in Generation 1 in like the first 2 episodes, but then I don't think he talked the rest of the series. And then in IDW comics, he talked a few times. Okay, cool. whatever, like, doesn't always have to talk. Like, it is what it is, but I don't know. People are weird, man. So Cobra Commander goes to this scientist dude who's working on the Energon, and they experiment with it, and we find out that the Energon can only be moved. It can't be. It's an element. It's a this. It's a that. It's a whatever. So he puts it into his little microbots. They put it into the cube, and all this and all that. And he says it didn't just power them; it supercharged them into a force unlike anything on Earth.
I just said the scientist.
Yeah, the scientist.
The scientist, Dr. Let me see if I can get this all right. I should. Dr. Laszlo Vandermeer. Another great deep cut, because for those those who remember, Laszlo Vandermeer was a scientist from the very first miniseries of the G.I. Joe cartoon.
Very cool.
Yep, he was the one who created the mass device. So it's like having him here. It's like, oh, gee, holy deep cut Batman. It's like the fact that he went there. I'm just like, oh, kudos to you.
That's awesome, Joshua Williamson. That's great. What would have been even cooler is if they had Dr. Laszlo Vandermeer and Dr. Arkeville working together.
Actually, now that you say that out loud, it would have been interesting having Arkeville. I mean, even if he didn't have the weird machine skull cap thing, at least that
would have been funny.
That would have been, well, hey, given how the Energon universe has been popping all these little Easter eggs and all these little deep cuts out, I would not hope that in one of these comics that somebody goes, Arkeville, it's like, this is my colleague, Dr. Arkeville.
And we get to a point where Cobra Commander says, "Come, Nemesis, we will begin our triumphant journey back." Oh, so he tamed him? Really?
I don't know. I don't know if tame is the right word, but at least Nemesis is kind of following along for now.
Well, not really, because he pushes him down in the next panel. One dude runs off. Nemesis says, "Your mission is over. I no longer follow your orders, Commander. I see you were never here to help me with my mission. You're here to kill me." Okay, they have a fight. 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 Oh boy, big fight. So, Cobra Commander kills him, right? Because he uses the Energon. Yeah, he uses the Energon in his glove, in his hand. Okay, well then. We get back to Ripper, one of them. Can't keep. Damn, your face looks like a bowl of puke, brother. What the hell? I need weapons. Who did you plan to sell the Energon to? This bloke who owns a whole company, biggest in the world. It's a good thing we read this first. It's a good thing we read this first. Destro. Mars Industries. We get Mars Attacks.
Destro miniseries written by Tim Burton.
Honestly, that probably would have been better than what we actually got. Oh boy. So we get Destro. We get I get that. We get Cobra Commander coming into town, where he says, "I thought you might appreciate the theatrics." "I do not, Mercer. Earn your pay." "Wait!" And they have a discussion here. Let him down. You're gonna regret this. You have no idea. I'm a salesman too. So they strike a deal. For the Energon, for this, for that.
I wonder the fact that Cobra Commander tells him, "I'm a salesman too." It's like I wonder if that's supposed to be a nod to the old comics.
I think so.
Basically, yeah, Cobra Commander was supposed to be a used car salesman.
Possibly. Quite possibly. So he goes in there and he says, "I have seen more than you can ever imagine, and I will share it with you so we can create a new world together." And he goes, "We are Cobra." And we get kind of a backup to end this, and we enter Cobra Law with Globulus. "That little traitor lied to me. His metal monstrosity escaped and nearly destroyed our home doing so." Pythona says, "It was a mistake ever allowing an outsider into our world, Lord Globulus. Nemesis hasn't checked in for many days. I hesitate to say he failed in his mission to kill that psycho." Psycho is right. Nemesis be dead.
I'm not dead yet. It's just a flesh wound.
No,
I'm
it's
actually
not
feeling a little better.
right. "If this Empire of Steel wishes to take what is ours, I will uncover their history and weaknesses." And they launch this weird-looking brain thing into orbit. And take this war to the stars. Dun, dun, dun. That is the end of Cobra Commander. But as you can see, I found a way to strengthen Cobra Law. And that's the end of Cobra Commander. Overall, what'd you think?
Overall, I mean, it was a good way to introduce the character into the Energon universe. And again, just the fact that, well, first of all, love all the deep cuts, and just love the fact that he got, love the deep cuts, and just love that the characters we had, that nobody. One of the things I like is when a writer bring characters, but it's not to be. It's not to be like, we're going to laugh at this character. I love the fact that you had the Dreadnoks and they were a threat. Cobra Commander was a threat, and I love that. I love the fact that, and they were, and this is the thing. Everybody got like a level up, but they were still like the Dreadnoks were still the Dreadnoks. They just weren't goofy. Cobra Commander is still Cobra Commander. He just wasn't a goofball. He wasn't shaking his fists, and it's like, I will have revenge. I like that. I like that when characters are elevated, but their essence is still there.
Yeah.
I feel like there are examples, which I won't get into, because also I don't want the haters to descend and be like, "You don't know what you're talking about." He
knows what he's talking about, folks.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But it's like there were certain examples of someone doing a character where it's like, okay, you did not get the point of the exercise. You did read the assignment. It's like, I'm dismissed. I've always said that you can tell if somebody is writing from, when they're trying to update a property. Are they thinking, okay, what about the original can we keep? Or are they thinking, the original had all this lame stuff, what do we excise first? Like, you could always tell, like, what they're thinking. And Joshua Williamson with Cobra Commander, you could tell he was like, there's some cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
What do I do with it? You could tell he was thinking that there was some stuff in here that was cool. And more power to him. Like, I appreciate it. Yeah,
absolutely. I love Joshua Williamson's writing. I've never not said that. I love the way he wrote the character. I think that's great. It's just, for me personally, I'm not a horror guy. Like, none of this stuff scared me. Like, this isn't Freddy Krueger. This isn't Jason. This isn't insert horror character here from classic horror. But this is kind of blood, guts, and gore. It's not all blood, guts, and gore, but there are blood, like I mentioned earlier, with him running over the dude and having and I know the Cobra symbol in the blood is more of a character artist. Here, let me put this here so the reader knows this was Cobra. This was Cobra Commander taking his tank looking vehicle. I understand that. I get that. I respect it. I love the art in it, but it's blood. Like, it was a bloody thing. And that's just not horror is not my style. But at the same time, I am perfectly okay with it in general. It's not the end of the day. I've read the thing twice in 2 years. Am I ever going to go back to it now that we've done this podcast? No, probably not. But at the same time, I have a record of it because I've done this podcast, and I have a record of it because Jesse and I have done the episodes on another comic review. So it's like, it's now in podcast form. It's cool. It's good. It's done. I love all of the shots of Cobra Commander when he's doing cool shit. Like I mentioned earlier with the bang, 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 bang. Love that image. The story points are great. The story of him looking for the Energon, him trying to perfect the Energon, him doing I want to know how the hell he got Megatron. That's the part. Like, I don't care about how Cobra Commander became Cobra Commander. We kind of got that origin here. He's a human that somehow ended up in Cobra Law. I don't care how he ended up there. Whatever. And now he's this villain, whatever. I want to know how he got Megatron, and I think we kind of find that out in the future, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember correctly.
I don't think they've really revealed how he got his hands on Megatron. That said, I think it's been hinted that I think the next issue of Transformers that comes out, which would be 31.
That's more of Megatron's origin. Yeah,
but I mean, it may play into it. Like, we may see a little bit of how Megatron got into the hands of Cobra Law and Cobra Commander, and Cobra Commander. So it's it's still out there, and that is a story that I would love to know, because to dovetail a little bit, I know that the Transformers book, we do have kind of that classic thing of the Ark crashed and we have the Autobots and Decepticons in there and they got revived. So it's like, it would be interesting. It's like, what kind of variation on a theme, on this theme, how did it happen that Megatron ended up in the hands of Cobra Law? Like, how did he go from being one of the ones deactivated on the Ark to being, pinned on the wall of Cobra Law like some sort of psychotic butterfly?
Yeah, exactly. So we have a 0 to 5 scale with half points. What would you give Cobra Commander 0 to 5 with half points?
Ooh. I would say 4.5.
Reading it in trade is much better than reading the single issues. I'm going to give it a 4. I probably would have given it lower if it was the single issues and having to read it that way, but reading it in trade was much better.
Yeah.
So, yep. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick ad break. You're going to hear some podcast ads and some other stuff because we've got another trade to talk about. So we're going to take a quick water break and soda break and whatever other kind of break you can imagine. And we'll be right back right after this.
G.I. Joe will return after these messages.
Hello, geeks. Want a podcast that covers a vast array of topics with no rhyme or reason? Then check out Altered Geek Unlimited, where the topics fly more or less off the cuff. We cover media news, TV, our favorite geek products, and of course, your feedback. So get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news, play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film. Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes or geekcastradio.com.
Yo, Joe, and welcome to the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast, where a punk rock band of brothers get together to talk about one of our shared loves, toy collecting.
Toy hunt by day, punk rock band by night. We'll take any excuse to get in the van.
We all collect different toy lines like those real American heroes. G.I. Joe! To the toys that are more than meets the eye. Transformers.
To He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
From vintage to modern and all topics in between, you can always expect some rowdy and passionate discussion because we love talking toys here on the Cracktastic Plastic Podcast.
You were expected days, Sacco Destro.
The shipment was difficult to assemble, and I lost more time climbing to this ridiculously melodramatic location.
Grab your helmets, because it's time to assemble Mask. Mask Mayhem is here with your hosts TFG1Mike, Optimus Solo, and brand new host Toon Master Tim. This podcast covering all 75 episodes of Mask will feature in-depth analysis of every episode, talking the toys, and more. Mask Mayhem will run 30 podcast episodes. You can find us on iTunes and www.geekcastradio.com. So get your spectrums ready, as podcasting is the ultimate weapon.
Now, back to G.I. Joe.
All right, here we go, folks. We're back here inside the Pull Bag, episode 581. Cobra Commander and Destro from SkyBound Entertainment. These are the G.I. Joe comics, the 5-issue miniseries that they started, the G.I. Joe part of the Energon Universe. Oh, God. Destro, Volume 1, The Enemy. Before we get this started, I have notes from the past. When I read this series monthly 2 years ago, it was abhorrent torture. I'd never heard of Dan Waters, ever, at that point. So getting used to a new writer usually takes me about 2 issues. It usually takes me about 2 issues. But out of the 5, nope, took me 4 out of the 5. Even then, I wanted to throw this in the trash back then. It's very rare in the 13 years that the Pull Bag has been online that I fully trash a writer's writing. I might nitpick or say I don't like certain things. However, this dude, with this one series, I never wanted to read anything he ever wrote again. Arg. The way he writes dialogue for Destro's character, the first time around, it just irritated me, infuriated me. This time around, just like with Cobra Commander, Destro read better in trade. This is why I don't do single issues anymore. I hate waiting for the single issue because you don't get the whole story. But even then, like, I'll point out certain things when we get to it here and when we actually talk about the trade. There's just certain syntax and certain, like, the way he writes the words. It's not what he says, it's how it's written is the problem that I had with it. And the sad thing is, he wrote a Shredder miniseries for IDW, and I'm like, oh my god. I know I'm going to have to cover that because Joe and I cover Turtles on this podcast, and it's like, oh no, I have to read his writing again. God damn it. All right. Those are the only notes I wrote down for Destro. Was basically my tirade on Dan Waters.
Oh boy. Somebody needs a hug.
Yeah. Not really, no. Oops, that's ones and zeros. Why is that ones and zeros? That's not what I wanted to do. All right. Okay, so here we go with Destro. Like I said, Volume 1, The Enemy. Creative on this, Dan Waters, writer, Andre Bresson, and Andrea Milana, page 55 to 74. Artists, Adriano Lucas, colorist, Russ Wooten, letterer. Russ, yay. Covers, Andre Bresson and Adriano Lucas, along with Carl Kerschel. Ben Abernathy is the editor. Yay, Ben. Andres Suarez and logo and publication design with Ashby Florence on production. So very, very cool. Thank you to all of the production people. Volume 1, begin. We start in the Republic of Darklonia with a war. And the prime minister is not happy with what's going on here. And we have the bats, the battle armored trooper, advanced prototype, logic circuitry prototype, heat signature targeting systems. Modular Gatling arm cannon. Substitutable? Huh? See, this is what I'm talking about. Right there. Substitutable. I've never heard... okay, fine. Whatever. It's a word, I guess. Anyway, so we see the bats in combat. How is it still standing? Where did it come from? Oh God, up there. And oh God, up there is more bats. Now that's a poster. There are more incoming. That's a poster right there. Now that's something I would put on my wall. The bats incoming. That's cool. Thoughts?
Well, great way to open. Well, first of all, Darklonia.
Yep.
Nice little nod. Again, pulling a country out that has been featured in like the Marvel comics and the IDW run. So yeah, pulling that out right out of the bat, it's like kudos.
Right out of the bat.
The pun not intended.
Of course it was.
Yeah. But yeah, having that, first thing, and just starting off with for a character that's like an arms dealer and a weapons designer, starting off the conflict and also throwing in one of the most high tech ideas to come out of the the old series. Kudos. I will give kudos. And yeah, the bats coming in, it's like probably one of the freakiest things that I've seen writers do, and Hama did this in the Hama kind of did a variation of this in the old Marvel run, which is the idea that bats, one of the things that you can do is just throw them out the freaking door out of like a helicopter or a plane in flight. It's like they don't need parachutes. You don't need to worry about their safety. Just throw them in there. And I feel like that's something that should be utilized. Like if you're going to have these robot minions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. So the bats are a thing, and we get the prime minister and all that, and just again, I'll say this for the Destro comic: the artists are amazing, simply amazing. Like that second page. So we get the Prime Minister bit after the big poster, but the second page after that, where the bat goes, Darklonia is free, and we see the bat up close here in that second panel. It's like, damn, that is so cool. And then there's all the fire and whatever from the fire, and then the bottom panel is Laird Destro, the Darklonian people accept your resignation, Prime Minister. And I can't do a Destro to save my life because I can't make my voice that deep unless I push on my throat, and I'm not pushing on my throat the whole podcast.
Well, I think I've always found, well, fortunately, Destro has a deep voice, but it's not. There's no grit to it, no gravel.
Yeah.
If you want, you can go straight trying to do Arthur Burghardt. Mr. Prime Minister, the people of Darklonia accept your resignation.
Yeah, there you go.
If you also want to, the fact that Destro's Scottish, you can add in a little bit and go, Mr. Prime Minister, the people of Darklonia accept your resignation.
There you go.
It's a little bit of Burghardt with like maybe a little bit of Sean Connery. God rest, sir.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And I forgot that Cobra Commander was in this too.
Well, they said, hey, they did set up. They did set it up in the Cobra Commander series.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Not totally out of the blue.
No, it's not. No, I didn't forget, but I wanted to say that because I'm on a page where Cobra Commander shows up. I love seeing the two of them work together in this. That is so cool. I think that's the best part about this series, is watching the two of them. But then Destro goes to the home of his ancestors and he talks to... oh, God. So, okay. I'm on the page where he goes to his home, and it's like this giant thing where he has to step over this giant cliff and whatever else, and he's talking to these giant statues. Now, you see this scene, okay, where he's like, none of you know Destro who came before me, bent to another's will. I will not be the first. Now, he's standing on this, and he's facing what I assume are four. Yeah, there are four statues. When I read this 2 years ago, the first thing I thought, and the first thing I said to my buddy Jesse was, Ancient Spirits of Evil. Like, first thing I thought was fucking Mumra and the Ancient Spirits of Evil.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Like,
you know what? That's not bad. My actual first thought was not. It wasn't Mumra. I was like, wait, is this Destro or is this Emperor Palpatine talking to like ancient Sith lords?
Yeah,
it was a very weird, like, why the cliff and the statues and it was just very weird.
Yeah, it is very weird. And then we go to, which this is a weird composition change, page change. So we go from that page to bright and sunny poolside. 3 weeks later in Darklonia. I didn't realize Darklonia had a giant mansion with poolside seating. And we go to Powerglide's girlfriend.
Yep, that was I think was even a bigger surprise for me than the Nemesis Enforcer reveal in Cobra Commander, because it's like, whoa, we're actually pulling a one-shot character from season 2 of Transformers. We're pulling that. It's like, wow, okay, we're here now.
We're here now.
Okay, all right, this is where we are. Okay. You know what? It's and I was just like, okay, all right, show me where you're going with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen one on
now show me where you're going.
Yeah, if you've seen one illegal arms dealer, you've seen them all. And I was just like, okay, Astoria, interesting.
Yeah.
And then we've got is this Cobra Commander's goon, his nephew? So we got that. Destro finally shows up. He says, "We have yet to meet, I believe. I knew your father well. Astoria, please, and we haven't. I'd remember a face like yours." You're Destro.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah, nudge, nudge. Yeah, exactly.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. You've been listening to too much gossip, I'm afraid. But yeah, and then the Crimson Twins arrive. We got Tomax and Zaymot. Oh boy, these guys. I would say these guys, other than having Astoria show up, seeing the Crimson Twins show up, I would say probably they're my favorite characters out of this series. Because they're just so much cooler than Destro.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense for the twins to be in this because
absolutely, they're arms dealers.
Arms dealers, definitely. This is it's one of those that they fit. It's like it's not not to say that like anything, but it was a logical choice, and I'm cool with it. I'm like, no, please let's do it. Let's do the twins.
Yeah, so the twins show up, and it ends up being a fight between the twins and Destro and all of that. And then what I love about this is it's an arms off. It's basic. That's what this issue kind of turns into here in the book, where it's like, we have better weapons than you. No, I have better weapons than you.
Yeah,
and it's like fire this, fire that, fire this, fire that, and I don't think they ever come to a real conclusion, maybe? I don't think they ever really come to a truce. No, they do. They do at the end here. Because it says, what are you proposing? Each of our companies is bigger than the men at its head. It would be a pity to turn each other to ash. I loathe you both, but when you are dead, I will be pleased to absorb extensive enterprises into Mars. It will happen the other way. We will dismantle Mars and equip our troops with everything, blah, blah, blah. They go back and forth. And then they shake hands. Very well, then, gentlemen, to the death without collateral damage. They shake hands. See you soon. So, I guess they made a deal. I don't know.
Well, or at least, if not making a deal, then at least they kind of set the parameters for how this is supposed to work out.
Yeah.
It's setting up the rule. It's setting up the rules. It's like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do, it's like, okay, we do want to settle who's better, but let's do it this way and this way.
Yeah.
It's making a business arrangement.
Yep. So we go to the Scottish Himalayas or the Scottish Highlands. To a secret, coordinated, highly classified place where Destro enters this giant door. That's a big door.
It is a very big door.
That's a very big door.
Are we compensating for something?
Perhaps. Zaymot and Tomax will send assassins for me, but they will find I have someone become a ghost in the wind. Mine will find them wearing Gucci suits in a Manhattan penthouse. What? See, that makes no sense. Zaymot and Tomax will send assassins for me, but they will find I have become a ghost in the wind. Okay, that makes sense. The next thing he says on this panel, mine will find them wearing Gucci suits in a Manhattan penthouse. What the fuck? I don't know.
I think the I think what was trying to be said was that they'll send assassins. The assassins won't find Destro,
Okay, his assassins. Okay.
Right.
See,
we'll
that
find them. Yeah.
See, this is what I'm talking about with Dan Waters, and I love Russ Wooten to death. The letterer, the guy that does the letters for all the comics for Skybound. You could have my assassins will find them. 2 words. Don't that is what I'm talking about with the writing. This makes between the end. Zaymot and Tomax will send assassins for me. Okay, but that's what I'm talking about with the writing in this book. That's why whatever. Anyway, so yes, we do have assassins after Destro, Chameleon to Overkill. Everything is on schedule. They're going to try to kill Destro. And they try. I love the snow stuff. Oh man, these snow scenes are great.
Even with him, even the snow scenes that involve Destro talking to the ancient Sith Lords.
Honestly, even that, because it makes it look better, because it doesn't make it look like the ancient spirits of evil.
Yeah.
Yep. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. So, yeah, we get to a point of cool story. Tell it to my many, many terrifying drones. I was wondering when I'd see those again. We get to, where the hell are we now? We're at Mars. They're incredible. What's incredible? Scrap iron. We get to all the circuitry, and they're working on duds and stuff and everything else, and they're working on all this junk. We get back to the snow with the drones, and yeah, this battle is just crazy. Just crazy. The whole thing. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Hey, if you were gonna do, if you're gonna do, well, first of all, hey, Scrap Iron again, perfect character to use.
Yep.
Perfect character to use. He fits. And yeah, if you're gonna have a fight in a comic with a character like Destro, then yeah, you got to pull out the weird shit. You got to pull out like drones and some high tech stuff.
Yeah,
because it fits the character. Destro's going to have some goodies. He even seems like the type that he'll save the best goodies for himself.
Oh, absolutely.
He'll give you the jetpack, but then his jetpack can actually go suborbital.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And then, so we get all that. We get all that battle, and then we get this guy. Who is this? I forget who this is. Who is talking to the general here? Who's talking to General Flag? Who is that?
Red.
It doesn't say. Whose aircraft do so? B1. Defenseless war. Begin monthly. Oh, it is Destro. Yep. He doesn't look like himself, though. He really doesn't look like himself at all in these panels.
Yeah.
That's weird. So he talks to General Flag, and then we get the twins talking to his nephew, or who. I don't like this character. This, listen, James McCullen, Destro was my cousin. Mars Industries has been owned by our clan for centuries. I don't like this guy.
I think that's supposed, if I remember correctly, that's supposed to be Dark Along.
Yeah, it is.
He just doesn't have the mask.
Yeah, I still don't like him.
Yeah. I just remember Hama brought him back. Hama had apparently killed him off in the Marvel run, but then when he continued the Marvel run in IDW, he brought him back, and it's like, oh, he had an escape tunnel. It's like, oh, darn. Dang it.
Yeah.
And you and your escape tunnel, sir.
Yeah, you and your escape tunnel. All right. So yeah, there's Dark Lawn. We have more shooting and whatever else, and what happens here? Is this? What is this? This is fully functional autonomous soldiers. Why has Destro not unveiled these to the market yet? Surely this is one of his greatest achievements. It's because they're not exactly fully functional yet. They don't fully work yet, you idiot.
Fully functional? Whoa.
Well,
careful, Tasha Yar doesn't hear about that.
It's because they can't distinguish friend from foe. They cannot be deployed alongside troops. They are utterly unmarketable. That's why. You dummy. We get back to Destro. For a week I have been reading Secret History of Blood and Fire and Death. The sins of the U.S. military, of the U.S. intelligence services, fill all of those campaigns of violent persuasions the world has never heard of. Dun dun dun. You can pick out the shapes and the distractions, and between the heavy black redactions, like shadows on Pompeii walls. Oh, your America, you have always been so sacred. Since your young nation's birth, it has made you so very naughty. Oh boy, well then. All right, Mr. Waters. He's a Brit, by the way, folks.
Yep.
So we have that. We have that whole page, 2-page spread of the letters and whatever. As this goes along, I don't know. Even now, reading this before we recorded, by the time he gets to the dance club, I'm just like, okay. It was interesting at first, and then I was like, okay, I'm kind of not caring. Even with the Energon missile or bullet or whatever she has here that she was trying to test out, and then we get to the alleyway back here, and he says, and he was a dreamer. He had such ambitious ideas that never quite seemed to come to fruition. Hiding in plain sight, a blonde wig and a pair of goggles is all it took to become unrecognizable. Chameleon was an apt code name to take. Yeah, well, they get into a fight.
Gotta say,
yes,
the twist of a story being Chameleon, that was one I was not expecting.
Yeah, that was one I was not expecting.
Yeah, and I gotta give, credit where credit is due. Yeah, it was hidden. Gives her something other than just being, some sort of vapid little heiress.
Yep.
I think I want to say, wasn't Chameleon in that kind of that image of the Joe cast where it has like all the Joes and Cobras together?
I'm pretty sure she was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was, and it's like, well, we're just like, well, wait, who's that? And then it's like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So, okay, Astoria gets gets to be a little level up in badassery. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that twist and that change. Again, like you said earlier about taking a character and leveling them up to a point of they're not just. That's one thing I'll give Dan Waters credit for. As much as I don't like the certain way he writes words, like we were talking earlier about how the Destro lines were not like I couldn't.
The line about the
Yeah. But like this is cool. So I'll give him absolute credit for that. That's awesome.
And and again, using the name Chameleon. 'Cause I know that because like that's had an interesting history with G.I. Joe in the past almost 30 years. Because the name Chameleon got used in 1998 for a re-release of the character Baroness, where it was supposed to be her long-lost twin sister, like spying on Cobra for the G.I. Joes.
Yeah.
And then I know IDW used it for another character who I want to say defected from Cobra to G.I. Joe. I think
so. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. But yeah, we had. I remember that her name was like Erica Latine or something like that, and I think once again they did the whole, long lost Baroness sibling. But yeah, and then using it here again for a character that is all about, that was used to try and take out Destro, but ends up flopping over to his side. That it's interesting keeping the name in play, and actually in a new way.
Yep. As we go forward, we get so as the Astoria Chameleon thing kind of ends here. Where is it, Astoria? Where is your war ender? Well, it's watching us. Always watching us.
Always watching, Wazowski. Always watching.
War is business. Business at its most base level. Takeovers, restructures, acquisition of assets. So we have all that. We have Cobra Commander and the Xamot twins. Or the twins. Welcome to Mars Industries, Cobra Commander. We look forward to working with you. So that's that. And they show him around. But unfortunately, sorry to disappoint, gentlemen, but Daddy's home. God. So they have this going on. They have a little war going on. Oh, how I love to make things go boom! Oh, God, that's so funny. It's dead! It's dead! It won't open! Not for a Decepticon.
Yep.
When I saw that, that's all I could think of. Not for a Decepticon. Oh, God. I am keeping my options open, Destro. Xamot and Tomax offer what Cobra requires. We have loyalists that need financing for foot soldiers. When did Shredder show up? The bats will not suffice. They can't be instructed or follow guidance. And if you remember, we did promise to kill you. We'd like to do it with our bare hands. Dun dun dun.
Hey.
Well,
that doesn't sound very. I don't know. These guys are business guys. I don't know why they would want to do it with their bare hands. It's kind of uncivilized. I mean, hell, there was that episode. There was that issue of G.I. Joe where, they're eating grilled cheese sandwiches with a knife and fork. So like, having them say they want to kill Destro with their bare hands, it's like, Oh, man, have the hand sanitizer ready then. Jeez.
Yeah. And then later, one of them does get his hands on Destro. The Destro clan has reached its age of obsolescence on a long enough timeline. It was inevitable, I'm afraid. But Clan Destro always leads the way. So is he going to activate the troopers? Nope. I thought he was going to activate the troopers. Huh. Man, this battle scene goes on forever. Because that one page I just read, and then there's like 3 more pages for. Wow. It's a good fight, though.
But you're in trouble if you're looking at a battle scene and you're like, wow, this goes on forever.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, this. By the time we get to where he says the overkill defense system is programmed to destroy those it perceives to be a threat to itself and the planet. It has the ability to learn to assess data and strategize on a global defense. And it's seen you now, Zaymot and Tomax, and you're a threat. I am Laird Destro, and you are in my house. And here in my house, I forgive you.
Aw. Everybody.
This dialogue is so horrible.
Aw,
Chameleon. Yeah. Chameleon, call overkill off. All life is war. All entities burn with the desire for power. I cannot begrudge it. I do not blame you for seeking what I have. Look on this as a wake-up call, gentlemen. So he gives him a pass.
A good soldier and a good general knows when to, like, not just throw an asset away.
Yep. And then Destro and Astoria kiss. They blow up the overkill, and that's that for them.
Yeah.
So we get an epilogue. The epilogue is at the tomb of the family Destro, where Darklon goes in and he says, do they truly speak to you, cousin? I wish I could hear our ancestors too. I apologize for being hasty in signing Mars over to the twins. Yada, 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 yada. You did not hear our ancestors, and when did you last wear your family mask to honor them? I don't. I mean, come on. You tried to sell our company, Darklon, after I gave you a country. You will atone. Mercer! Scrap iron! What is this? Cousin, please! No! Well, he's gonna wear his mask.
Yep.
He's gonna wear his mask. The future is arriving. The future is war. Commander? We're monitoring Destro's activities as ordered. He acted as predicted. He indeed launched nuclear armaments to impress a woman. But what? We've picked up something else. It appears to be mechanical entering orbit above the Pacific, but our scans can't understand the alloy. If I didn't know better, it almost seems organic. Dun, dun, dun. The end.
Yep.
That's Destro, folks. That's Cobra Commander and Destro. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay, so overall, when I read this the second time around before we went through it just now, I liked it a little better, but it is still my least favorite out of all of the miniseries that they did. So we got Duke, Cobra Commander, Scarlet, Destro. Those are the four that they did. And it's still at the bottom. It's not as bad as I feel that it was the first time, because I'm reading the whole story all at once. I'm not just getting snippets every month. I still have a problem with some of Dan Waters' writing, but it wasn't as bad as I initially thought. And again, for me, it's just like we already said, it's how he words things. It's not that the story is bad. It's not that what he's writing is bad. It's how he's writing that I find is bad. That's just a me thing. So
no, I get it. I get it, and I actually did like. I liked the miniseries when it first came out. It does read better in trade, but I did start to see some of the writing stuff that just kind of was like, did we really need to go there? Really? Like, yeah, I agree. Like, some of the writing is just, I probably would have said it better. You know, it kind of reminds me of like, when we were just talking about the whole Assassins thing.
Yeah.
It just reminds me, because I had this constant thing. I believe that last Star Wars movie that came out, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the novelization of it reveals that Palpatine was a clone. And it's like, they couldn't, and here's the thing, it's like they couldn't, in the movie itself, when he does a nod to that line from Revenge of the Sith, the dark side is the pathway to things some would consider unnatural. You couldn't throw something in there, having him say something like, for example, cloning.
Yeah.
Which would then spell it out in a way that it's like, okay, yes, it's this. So it's like, yeah, the whole assassin line, it was like, okay, kind of feels like something's missing. Something's missing there. You could have added a couple of more words, or just rephrased it to make it work. But you didn't, and here we are.
Yep.
I'll say that the twists, the twist with Astoria, the way they used overkill, like that was, it doesn't, and it's one of those things where, okay, yeah, while it isn't the overkill we know and love, it doesn't like remove from the equation. So the door is open that in the future we could have an overkill that's like an android, leading the bats, or a cyborg who becomes like leader of the bats. That's still open. They didn't close it.
No, they didn't close it because
close it at all.
Because they she blew up the satellite. She destroyed the satellite. So you could have another overkill character that is the actual overkill character. So you could repurpose the name, because, you got to repurpose the name to keep the copyright and the trademark and the whatever.
Yep.
So you can reuse
it's still
it.
There.
So, yep.
I do like the idea. See, one of the things I love about Destro as a character, especially when we're talking like outside of cartoon media, is the fact that he's an arms dealer and he will sell to both sides. He will sell to everybody. You know, you could be at war with somebody and Destro supplies them with like the heavy, the heavy weapons, and then he comes to you and goes, "I see that your defenses keep crumbling before this. I do this, this armor treatment that works. Perhaps we could come up with a deal. You hire my company to create this armor treatment. We will come up with a good deal. You won't even notice the interest. It'll be in monthly installments, like that kind of thing." And having the twins as like antagonists, that also works because they're in the same arena. I kind of wondered, more. I would have loved to have seen maybe the twins and Destro fighting in that kind of thing where it's like they're not really going against each other. They're trying to one up each other and see who could sell who, the winning thing.
Yeah.
That to me, is kind of interesting. It's kind of like, if there was ever a thing between Batman and Iron Man, I wouldn't want, if they go against each other, I'm not interested in seeing them duke it out. I'm interested in seeing Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne in the boardroom, playing off each other. I'm interested in here comes Bruce Wayne with Selina into the party, and all the cameras are going off. But wait a minute, Tony Stark comes in this new Stark helicopter and just steals the freaking show.
I now want a Wayne and Stark team up comic. Oh God. Oh yes.
Oh because, yeah, come on.
Yeah, Wayne, Stark, come on. Selina and Pepper. Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
Oh
Selina
God.
And Pepper.
Or my
even,
God.
Or even
dude. Keaton, Downey, Pfeiffer, and Paltrow. Oh my God. That would be the best fucking movie ever.
Oh crap. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I just blew Mike's mind. I don't know if we'd get I don't know if we'd be able to get the movie, but
that would be the best movie ever.
But, I do know that DC and Marvel are now doing crossovers again. I think at the very least, we could get it on the page.
Yeah, but still.
On screen, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying, and I don't, anyway.
Yeah.
Destro, I liked it this time around, much better in trade, like I said.
Yeah.
Like I already said, it's still my least favorite of the 4 character miniseries. 0 to 5 with half points. I think last time I gave it like a 2.5. I think this time I'm going to give it a straight 3. It's middle ground. It's in the middle. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. And that's where I stand on it. For me, it's not something I'm probably ever going to read again, but this time around, I enjoyed it more because of this is why I love the SkyBound trades. Because these trades are the first trades for SkyBound that I have all the trades. I just haven't read them yet because I haven't gotten to the point of being able to podcast about them yet. Because I was waiting on somebody to do podcasts with, and that just didn't happen. So I moved shit around and whatever. So it's one of those things where, okay, well, I can get back into this. And I'm like, ooh, trade paperbacks. Oh, right. That's what they're like. Okay, cool. So I'm first just seeing the trades for SkyBound and how they present them. So yeah, for me, it's 3 out of 5.
Honestly, it's not even just SkyBound. I think for the last 20 some odd years, that's been the thing where, you have these storylines that it's obvious they were written for trade. So it's like you read them month for month, and you're like, you read the latest issue, and you're like, God, I gotta wait. I gotta wait until, March 14th. And then, but then when it comes out in trade, you read it, and it's like, oh, okay, this comes off a lot better. And I actually had that. I had that same issue with IDW, the Hama run.
Yeah.
There was this storyline, I think it was called Snake Hunt.
Okay.
But it was about Cobra Commander capturing Snake Eyes, and then the Joes basically breaking, kind of disobeying orders and beelining for Springfield to break them out. And it's like, yeah, the thing reads a lot better in trade, especially because like there's like maybe the later chunk of three or four issues is just Joe's mobilized and making their way to Springfield, and just all these different like groups that have an interest just heading to Springfield. So it's like, reading it in trade, it comes off so much better. So does stuff like, so does a lot of things. Just a lot. Like, ugh.
Absolutely.
So having that, it's like, having it in trade, it can read a lot better, and some story beats could be like, okay, now I understand. Now I get it.
Yep. Absolutely. What are you going to rate this?
I'm with you. I'm rating it a solid 3. And I think what's safe is just the little bits like, the use of scrap iron, Destro versus the twins, things like that.
Yeah. The use of scrap iron, Destro versus the twins, and the twist with Astoria. Yep. Those are the 3 things that save it from being any lower than a 3.
But I will say I'd be like, okay, yeah, the main G.I. Joe series is now up and running.
Yep, which we're gonna get to.
Yeah, I would love to see more minis. Maybe like and like there are characters that I think you can do in a mini. I know Zartan. I know that there's, I'm not going to spoil, but there's been some developments with Zartan in the main series, and I would love to see a mini series that builds up to that.
Yeah.
I would love to see what SkyBound do with Dr. Mindbender. Like, how would we see a Dr. Mindbender in SkyBound? There's so much potential, so I would love to see these companion minis.
Well, I think what they've done is they've gone to, instead of doing the miniseries like these, they've gone to doing and taking homage on the original. I think it's, what is it, issue, is it 221, whatever the issue number is of the original series, the Silent Missions. Whatever the original issue number of the Silent
21.
Mission was.
That
21,
was
that's what it is.
21.
Yeah. So they've gone to that, and they've done G.I. Joe Silent Mission for Beachhead and Duke and a bunch of, like, they did like 5-issue Silent Missions for the Joes, and now currently they're doing 5-issue Silent Mission for the Cobra side. They're doing a Baroness Silent Mission. They're doing this. They're doing that. Yeah. So I've already recorded this. I recorded this a year ago. The next episode will be G.I. Joe Silent Mission for Beachhead. It's the only Silent Mission I was able to record at the time. My buddy Mike, a.k.a. Beachhead, because Beachhead is his favorite character, Mike Irizarry from What's on Joe Mind, joined me for that. Yep. So he joined me for that. We will do that, and then you will come back, and we will do Duke and Scarlet in episode 583. So that's what's going on there. Do you have anything you'd like to promote before I run through the closing, sir?
You know what? It's sort of.
Okay.
I am doing some Joe-related stuff that's still
Yay.
in my... I am doing some Joe-related stuff. It's going to be a little off the beaten path.
Okay.
You know, it's not straight up Joe versus Cobra, but it does tie into G.I. Joe, and there's some really cool stuff. I'm going to be writing some, and I'm actually going to be editing some. I'm going to be editor on some of it. But we've already, work has already started, and there's some cool. If those of us who are working on it, we do our jobs correctly, this will be really cool and a nice little addition to the Joe mythos. I will say this. I'm currently working on. I am currently working on 4 issues of that book that I was writing, The Seer. There are more issues coming.
Very cool. Very
I've
cool.
actually seen, and I'm working with some really great artists. I think we have weekly meetings, and I see the art coming in, and I'm like, oh my lord. Oh my lord! It's like to take a page from Guillermo del Toro. It's eye vitamins. It's not eye
There you go.
eye vitamins.
Eye vitamins. There you go.
But yeah, not only this year, but I am also working to finally bring to life a project that I've been that is kind of a companion to the Seer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the scripts written for years.
The listener?
Finally, they're getting art to go. No.
Sorry, had to.
Basically, it would be kind of it would be continuing the saga of the Seer, but instead of it being the main character from that, it's her daughter. And I've got scripts that are already written for that, and we just started on art for that. So I'm hoping that by the end of the year, these comics will be coming out. If not end of the year, then at the very least, 2027 will be the year. But there are scripts done, art's coming in. I'm really excited for it. Kind of a watch this space thing, because as soon as we're ready, we are going to be doing our damnedest to promote this. Because I'm really happy, and what I love about these scripts is I got to play in some great sandboxes.
Nice, very cool.
So yeah, that's what, and of course I'm here still talking comics, and just being my usual goofy self.
Absolutely. I thought that was a good joke, damn it. The listener.
Yes, you did.
Funny.
It was. You know what? It had. You know what? It. Okay, I get it. We're working on it a little bit more, but
Yeah. Funny guy. All right, folks, thank you for joining us here inside the Pullbag. If you'd like to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show, there are several ways to do so. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to and comment on all of our content. You can also visit shop.geekcastradio.com, where you can buy our merch. Buy our stuff, folks. You can send us email, feedback at geekcastradio.com. You can check us out on all the podcatching clients you choose to use. Follow us on Twitter at GeekCastRadio for the show, for the network, at the Pullbag for the show. I'm at TFG1Mike. Are you still on Twitter, or did you abandon it?
No, I'm still on Twitter, which, by the way, I will always call it Twitter.
We will too. We don't. Yeah.
The only time you name something X, like brand X or whatever, is when it's supposed to be the shitty substitute.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Those of us who were raised on cartoons know that. Elon, you idiot.
Yeah, and when I see the letter X, all I think of is, oh my God, it's Chemical X. That's how you.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's how you got the Powerpuff Girls.
Still on Twitter, still on the same handle of White Balloon King, spelled WHTBLLNKING. I'm actually also on Blue Sky.
Very cool.
I'm on there.
You want to give that out?
I believe with that one, I'm just, I'm kind of, it's a little more generic. I think if you type in Eduardo Freyre, you should be able to find me easier than Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah, it's it's actually at EMFREYRE76 at Blue Sky Social. Yeah, that's my Blue Sky. So see, that's a little less insane. Only a little.
Gotcha. I really don't want to keep talking about those files because I'm kind of sick of that file cabinet. Anyway, you can become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Geekcast Radio Network. You can also check out the pull bag over there as well. As I mentioned before, join us next time when we will be discussing SkyBound Entertainment's G.I. Joe, The Silent Missions, Beachhead #1. As always, folks, please remember some content is pre-recorded. That was recorded over a year ago. A lot of shit happened last year. Had surgery on the only arm I can use in life, so I know people are probably tired of me talking about that. I beat that like a dead horse, but that's what happened. Can't help what happened in life, right?
Hey.
So,
yep.
For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Eduardo M. Freyre.
As always, make your greatest game in the comics, and we will catch you next time.
I do not agree with our leader's change of heart.
Has the noble Destro forgotten our leader has no heart?
You're on your own from here, guys. It was more monkeys than a barrel of laughs or something. Hasta la vista.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's first comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate and leave a review for the show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/thepullbag. Send us an email, feedback@geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter @thepullbag and @geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.